Are you here for the frame arms or for the girl?
People class, welcome to today's amazing review of the collaboration between Megami Device and Frame Arms Girl from Kotobukiya, the Alice Gear Aegis. So getting a look at the girl herself, I have to say that I am amazed at what they have done and what they are willing to do with such a simple, well, quote unquote simple figure, and starting her off as just a regular schoolgirl. I understand that the whole concept of Frame Arms Girls is literally just a girl in a frame with arms practically, but I love this simplistic but honestly complex design of this normal girl with school attire, but of course with mechanical detail, nice posability, nice sculpting. She is a little bit loose in areas, but overall a very well presented design. Getting a closer look at the figure, we'll start at the head, and this might be a little iffy for some people, but due to how they make the head, it is very segmented. And then you got the face hair piece that comes off, which allows you to swap on the headpiece. And going on to the face, you actually get a few choices. So other than this regular smiling face, you get a well detailed, kind of looking to the left, open mouth face, and then one that looks a little bit to the right. They also include a very nice water slide that you can swap out the faces with. I would have liked to, as they do with the ball joints I'll show later, I would have liked the whole runner full of faces so that we could put these on, because there's a lot of awesome options. It's just that we can, but I don't want to use them on this. I want to use what's on this face for this face. And since we're talking about stickers, no, I did not put the other decals on. I honestly took about 3 to 4 days to build her. When I saw these, I said heck no. Going to her shoulders, I have to say that when I was building it through a lot of this kit, I was very confused in what I was doing. I got the process of it, understood where it was trying to go, but the actual making of it, how every single piece other than these two shoulder straps are different pieces, was a big shock, especially the gold or bronze colored pieces that they have on there. There is a bunch of present detail on here that just works, and yes, unfortunately the chest is very loose. Same with a couple of other pieces on here. They're not deal breakers, but if you really want to, I would say even as a base figure, this is one that you can glue. Going on to the stomach area, it is kind of like a bodysuit or swimwear, so you do get nice female detailing. The pieces don't really go together, as you can see. It's not the end of the world for me. Going to the skirt, actually the articulation, I love that as you move it up, that little bit gets exposed. That is very nice. And when you go to the back, you just get a little bit more of the hip bone. And for the skirt and the legs, again, multiple pieces, white, yellow, black. The black does kind of dangle there, which I know is probably a piece I just have to squeeze, which you will have to do a lot of, which is just squeeze this girl to make sure that she is held together right. But for the legs, they have a nice skin tone texture, and my biggest problem is the bow legs. They are very prevalent. They work, but when I was putting it together, this was the place I had most trouble with, because you can see they are quite bent. This is not realistic anatomy. Maybe I put them on the wrong legs. Going to articulation, I have to say it's fair. The neck is the best part. The head is very loose, unfortunately, but it does have a nice range for head tilt and a little bit up and or a generous amount of up and down. The shoulders, be very careful. They do have a kind of butterfly. It's more of just a hinge in between the breast and back pieces that allow you to do this, but it's still a lot. She does have upwards movement in the shoulder, but she can't really go that high. You have to pull it down in order to get the shoulder to go up. But it's still nice nonetheless. You do get, I wouldn't say full rotation, because you have to work with it before it pops out, but you do get enough. You have a nice, very nice bicep swivel. A single jointed arm that can get very decent range. And then the ball joints for each of the hands, some of them are loose, some of them are tight. This one unfortunately is loose, but if I put on a little glue, a little bit of paint, then that would work just fine. And as you can hear, these joints are very nice and solid. For the upper body, I will consider this to be none, because every time I pose it, it will fall off. As you seen before. The lower ab is beautiful. That's where you get most of the range. For the legs, they are limited mostly by the skirt, unfortunately. You don't get a lot forward. You get a generous amount back from what we are used to with figures, but the skirt does fall apart. There is thigh rotation, very nice, and as you can see, that is supposed to happen for later. One of the most beautiful pieces of articulation are the legs, for this one in the transformation mode. They pose no problem, very tight, very good feeling joints. The shin articulation is very tight. Again, I'll probably put them on the wrong joints. But then the feet are tiny and loose, just a little bit, but they can get an amazing range of motion as well.
You feet lovers, get away. She's mine.
So I have to say, starting out as the base figure, I understand why they sell base figure kits of like $15, maybe even $30, because this alone, there's a lot of customization ability, there's a lot of things that you can do to enhance it, and a lot of things that you can do to paint it and make her really, really look well. And now for what she comes with, I will start with the jetpack or the back assembly first. So first beautiful thing I have to say about this, really about the whole kit, is that it comes with a stand, and the stand is very, very strong.
It broke.
Just know that the tolerances are very, very small as well, because as you can hear, it is very tight. But that also means that the more you leave it on here, the less tighter it will be, just because it's plastic rubbing on plastic. So as you can see, this is just a hodgepodge of anything and everything that this kit represents. Of course, there's more, but this is the biggest part about it, and everything you see on here can move in some way. Okay, maybe not these ones. If you go from the stand, you have full joints of articulation that can help you pose it, move it forward a little bit, rotate it, adjust it up and down, and they are nice and tight. But of course, since I've had this for a little bit, they are getting a little bit weak, but it's in easy fits. Then the connection to the actual backpack is very simple. It's just a ball joint or a peg, and you also get two small thrusters that also have a plethora of range and articulation that is not limited in the slightest. But to go into said articulation, to start at the top, you have a full 360. Of course, you have to maneuver it just a tad to get the full 360, but when it's on her back, I don't really think you're going to be explicitly using it for that purpose. Going to the thrusters, you have amazing detail, especially with how they can each open up. And for the outer wings, a full 360, a full hinge system that allows you to extend it, operable wings that don't get in the way at all, they more enhance it, and then an open and closing claw for the exhaust. This is such an amazing feature, amazing kit that when I was building it, you're not going to know what the heck you're building, but after you build it, you will understand. These claws also open up slightly. There's no real purpose to them other than a little play feature, but I'm very happy that they included it. You also get this nice shield at the bottom that can go up a whole ton and go back almost all the way to the back of the thrusters, but this awesome wing at the bottom, I feel like this covers most of the angles and poses I'm trying to get, so I'll mainly use that. But of course, this can be used as a shield sword, so whatever. Going into tiny little things, other than the base, you got an opening gimmick and then opening side panels. But as you saw, these are very, very loose, unfortunately, so you do have to really risk gluing them in some places, and when I paint this, I will. For what they look like open and closed, I have to say that this was a shock when I first put it together. I literally put everything on backwards or upside down or in some weird pose, because I've never built a model like this. I never thought that I would build a model like this, especially Frame Arms Girl, because I was honestly a little worried about how they would work, but after building her, I have to say that a little bit of glue on these kits is gonna go a long way. So with the hands, you don't just get 2 pairs, or 4 pairs, or 6 pairs. You get 14 pairs of hands. But the sad part though is that, as you can see, I put a ball peg into one and on the other. That's because I thought that they would have enough ball pegs due to the amount of runners in this. But unfortunately, they only give you 3 half pieces for the rest of the ball pegs. So some of your hands are not going to be able to be used, unfortunately. So choose wisely. smoothly. And with that flexibility, it gives you a chance to do a bunch of poses that I am so happy that we can do. From the plethora of holding hands that she comes with, in all honesty, you only need to use these two. They hold pretty much all the weapons that need to be held with this frame arm. The other ones, they prove too much of a problem, other than these semi-open hands, because these are really the only hands you're going to be using for the sword, because it can't fit into the other hands because it needs an opening due to the bottom of the hilt. And for the blast effect parts, you get two amazing, I mean simply, I am so happy that they added these parts. Going over the orange piece, I have to say that this is my favorite just because of the way that the light shines through. You get this orange red tint to where if it's left out in the sun or whatever, it has this green bluish hue that bleeds beautifully into the rest of it. For the explosion effect, this is actually 3 parts and it goes together very well. There's no need to worry about, oh, if I touch it, if I do something, you actually have to pull it apart for it to fall apart, which is good and bad. If you're worried about being a little too strong and then you drop it and it breaks it, yes, there's a risk, but the way that it is, even if you do drop it, it doesn't seem like it's that weak. This is me actually redoing the weapons part because I didn't like what I said about it. So I have to say that these two, which are the energy pistols, they are too big. As you can see in comparison to her, it is almost as tall as her, and going back, the jetpack literally sits on her back. So there is no real range to use this by. We'll show it later on. One of my favorite weapons that comes in this is the energy rifle that has a little bit of movement, not too much, has a beautiful green holographic piece, and a removable energy clip. One other very nice thing on here is that you can see the actual text imprinting on the barrel, and that is just stunning. One other cool thing that I am a little hesitant about, to be very honest with you, is to add on this blast effect part that does not really connect in that tight. It is just a simple, really. Now it wants to stay on. But anyways, you get this beautiful blast effect part that for some reason now is staying in. The sword and shield are my favorite pieces. When I saw this kit, my biggest influence to pick her up was definitely just this single piece. Now that I have it, I love it. And you can see stark differences in this, or slight differences. There is gray on the inside of the shield, of course stickers, a little more detailing and painting than I've done because I've done none. But other than that, just the basic colors, the basic way that is presented is very well. The connection of the sword into the shield is very strong, and the only real problem I have with it is the handle. I wish that the handle could have slotted on the forearm, but unfortunately it doesn't. It just goes into the hands that I showed earlier. My biggest influence to pick her up was definitely just this single piece. Now that I have it, I love it. And you can see stark differences in this, or slight differences. There is gray on the inside of the shield, of course stickers, a little more detailing and painting than I've done because I've done none. But other than that, just the basic colors, the basic way that is presented is very well. The connection of the sword into the shield is very strong, and the only real problem I have with it is the handle. I wish that the handle could have slotted on the arm or the forearm, but unfortunately it doesn't. It just goes into the hands that I showed earlier. For a stand, you have some awesome detailing on the base, a 3-tiered stand. You get a hinged part that allows you to change the direction of the stand ever so slightly. I'm not really going to use this just because of how much extra weight it puts onto this little piece here, but if you want to, you can. It comes with this long bar piece that plugs in through a ball peg, and I kind of recommend it only for the schoolgirl, because if you put a lot of weight on it, as you can see, is flexible but also very fragile. As you guys know, Gundam, it's a light piping piece. It is nice, but it's not as strong as the regular plastic. And you do have an option of a straight peg or an angle peg. And for the last accessory, which kind of isn't an accessory, it's more for the transformation, but I'm going to consider an accessory because I can. You have these amazing legs. They have amazing detail. If I panel lined them, they would have struck out even more, but I just didn't because I didn't want to. Again, this took me 4 days to build and I was dead tired at the end of it. I've had this thing for a couple of years, or a year at this point, and I just wanted to take a break. hence why I haven't really been doing too many Gundam reviews, but I will be doing those soon. But other than that, beautiful posability, beautiful articulation. Everything in here is nice and tight, not as tight as the freaking base though. That sucked that it broke, but everything else on this kit you don't have to worry about breaking. You just have to worry about loose joints. And to transform this girl, first thing you need is the base. That's what the girl, just off go the legs and the hair. Just the front piece. Plug in the separate, detailed, and part separated hair piece. And for the legs, just a simple plop plop, and you plug the peg into her lower back. Try to angle her up a little bit, and then you will have to point her waist down, and then eventually once you angle her right, you'll get her in a basic pose. The only real sucky thing I'll say about this is there any weapon storage? No. So unfortunately, if she isn't wearing them, you have to have a bag. But at the same time, I understand that if you were to put the sword and shield somewhere like here, that means that you can't get any more articulation, which if that is why they didn't put any, I understand it. But it would have been cool if we were at least able to do this. So I had to take her off her stand just because her stand, this is literally just for a schoolgirl. This is way too much weight, way too much going on, and it's just never able to find the center of balance unless you want to put her in one pose. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to do her a little expressively, and it is tricky. I will admit the other blue parts of the stand are starting to creak and fall apart as well, and I'm like, gosh dang it, I just opened you, now I have to fix you or put you back in the box forever now. In terms of what I was talking about earlier with the pistol, whatever this is, being too big, as you can see, it collides with everything. I'm going to end the video here because the backpack and everything is starting to fall apart as in typical Kotobukiya fashion, and it's not really being fun trying to hope that she stays together because she is perfect right now, and if I move something, the hands are going to pop out, the head is going to twist in a weird direction, I'm just honestly done. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you get her, please be willing to put in a lot of work. But anyways, hope you had fun. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Peace.